Viewer discretion is advised. Murder. Escape. A name no one questioned until it was too late. It sounds like the plot of an old Western, but it really happened. This story was buried deep in the Dakota dust until now. I'm Chris, and this is Hidden Lens History, bringing the past back into focus. (1901), Grand Forks, North Dakota. A great northern train heading west. Inside one of the boxcars, two lumbermen, tired and quiet, were making their way home from the Minnesota woods. At a transfer stop just outside Grand Forks, two strangers jumped in. The names later would be known: Jacob and Joseph Bassanella. What happened next was fast and violent. The brothers demanded money. One of the men, Axel Anderson, resisted. A shot rang out. Anderson died on the floor of that car. The other man survived by keeping still. He lived just long enough to name the Bassanellas. Both brothers were arrested and jailed in Grand Forks. But not for long. By spring, they'd escaped. Joseph made it to Montana. Jacob vanished. Months later, a polite young man arrived in Washburn, North Dakota. He called himself James Smith, said he'd fought in the Spanish-American War. He was helpful, quiet, charming even. He found work at the Tower Ranch near a German bachelor named Anton Heilinger. Heilinger had just sold off some property and was known to keep cash in the house. On a night in March 1902, Smith asked for a place to sleep. Heilinger offered a bed. By morning, he was dead, shot in his home. Smith was arrested for the murder, but he slipped out of jail multiple times. Each time, he was hunted down and dragged back. It wasn't until trial, in November of that year, that the truth came out. The man in court didn't just confess to the killing. He revealed his real name: Jacob Bassanella. At sentencing, Jacob handed the judge a letter. In it, he confessed again, but this time, he made one thing clear. Joseph, he said, was innocent of the boxcar murder of Axel Anderson. He took the blame entirely upon himself. Whether it was true, no one could say. But it didn't matter. Jacob Bassanella was sentenced to hang. And on February 22nd, 1903, in the Washburn jail, he did. Joseph, meanwhile, remained in the state penitentiary at Bismarck, serving life, quiet, watching, waiting. Then in March 1908, he disappeared. With a fellow inmate named Alfred Woolen, Joseph had spent 6 weeks tunneling from beneath the carpenter's shop. 44 feet, 18 inches wide, the dirt hidden under floorboards, covered in sawdust. At dawn, they crawled beneath the wall. They stole 2 horses from the prison pasture and rode into the plains. They didn't ride together for long. Woolen was captured near Mandan. A farmer's son saw through his disguise and shot him in the leg. His father helped drag the wounded man 3 miles to the nearest train. Joseph, however, kept moving. By afternoon, a Washburn man named Fred Pfister encountered a stranger on horseback. Something about him felt off. Hours later, after hearing about the escape, Pfister told the sheriff. That had to have been Bassanella. Sheriff Beck and Pfister headed out, fast. They found Joseph's horse abandoned and followed his tracks into the hills. Joseph Bassanella was hiding in a brushy ravine. The sheriff called for him to surrender. There was no answer. They crept forward. Suddenly, a gunshot rang out. Joseph fired first. He missed, but it was enough. Sheriff Beck and Pfister opened fire. Joseph was hit. He stood, then fell. The manhunt was over, and the last of the Bassanella brothers was dead. Their names were barely in the papers, but for a time, they were among the most wanted men in North Dakota. A killing in a boxcar, a murder in the dark, a fake name and admission on the stand, a letter from a brother, and a tunnel beneath a prison floor. Jacob and Joseph Bassanella left a trail of violence across the frontier, and one haunting photograph that history nearly forgot. You've been watching Hidden Lens History, bringing the past back into focus. Have thoughts on this story? Something we missed? Drop it in the comments. We're always digging, and your tip might just lead to the next photo or story. Have a specific headline or photo you'd like brought back to life? Send it to us. We'd love to see it.